What's up? It's Grant, your favorite hypnotist and quantum healer with a JD. In case you didn't hear, we're experiencing some crazy 1 in 60,000 year astrology. I'm feeling nosy, so I'm going to ask the tarot cards what is up and how we can make the most of this grand conjunction with Neptune, Saturn, the Sun, and Mercury opposite them in a perfect line. This is a perfect opportunity for us to make the dream real and get guidance from our higher self on how to do that. So, this is really important also because on February 20th of 2026, uh, we have Neptune and Saturn conjunct at 0 degrees of Aries. This is the first degree of the entire zodiac. And that has not happened, according to Pam Gregory, one of the top astrologers, since 4300 BC. So that's already a 1 in 6,000 year opportunity. And it's crazy because Saturn and Neptune represent the left and right side of our brain. Saturn is the left brain, our rigid, logical systems brain. And Neptune is our right brain, our creative, imaginative brain, the subconscious. So when these two are together at the very first creator degree of the zodiac, the most potent degree of the zodiac, it gives us the opportunity to make real Saturn, our dreams, Neptune, in a way that has never happened before. So what's up with this 1 in 60,000 year astrology? I'm glad you asked. Frank Hoogerbeats at SSGEOS has spoken about this. He did the math. This perfect lineup, the Earth is not involved, but it's Neptune, Saturn, the Sun, and Mercury on the opposite side of the Sun, has not happened for 60,000 years. And it's happened 3 times since since 1953. And this year, 2025, when they line up today on this 12/12 portal, is the last time it will happen for another 60,000 years. So we have this crazy 1 in 6,000 year opportunity with Neptune and Saturn starting a brand new zodiac cycle together on February 20th. And today, those two planets are in perfect alignment with the Sun and Mercury, our higher self. So let's get this guidance, let's get this bread, and let's figure out how to make our dreams real. It's also crazy because 1 week from today, the third ever recorded interstellar object, 3i Atlas, is at the closest point it will be to the Earth. And there's a lot of interest with the Atlas and how it's expanding human consciousness. It came from outside our solar system, the third ever known object to do this. So let's channel that energy into this reading as well and maybe follow up in a week. So what is going on with these planets? I just let the cards fall out while I'm shuffling them, not forcing anything. One other thing I would add is the last time Neptune was at the 0 degree of Aries was literally the day after the US Civil War started. Can't make it up. What was different about that is Saturn was not there to make the dream real. So we had the dream and slavery. We didn't have the real world systems, the on the ground practical solutions to make it happen. So I'm already getting intuitively that this conjunction, this 1 in 6,000 and 1 in 60,000 year astrology, is about finally ending slavery systems for good and building the new Earth together, the 5D Earth together. So cards, I'm looking for guidance for this collective's highest good on how we can make the new Earth real, how we can make our dreams real, and anything else that our higher selves, our high vibrational angels and guides want to share for our highest good and the highest good of all at this time. Let's just see what comes through. Oh, first cards fell out. Some of them fell all the way on the floor. First card that fell out all the way to the floor. We have upright, the Seven of Swords. This is something that suggests thievery, deception, lies. This man is walking off with other people's swords. He's got 5 of them in tow. There's 2 more. He's looking behind him. What this tells me is this is about the systems I was just describing and how they have been stealing from us. They've been taking our life force and energy, our creative power, and harnessing it. Let's see what the other cards that fell out after that have to say. Page of Wands. I love this energy because it just came up in my last reading. The Page of Wands is about optimism. It's about new ideas. It's new thinking. It's about following your inspiration. It's fire energy. Fire being inspiration. So that's a really good omen for a brand new start because it's the Page of Wands. We also have, after that, oh my god, you guys. After that, we have Justice. So what Justice, sorry, it's a little awkward when I'm holding this up. I'm recording simultaneously on my phone and laptop for Tiki and YouTube at the same time because I'm, an entrepreneur. And justice, the important part. We have the scales of justice, balance. The universe is always in balance. So we reached the furthest point, the darkest, longest night in human history in terms of suppression of the reality that we are all source God creator. That we are not slaves, okay? That's the reality. We've been living under these systems that have been built upon that kind of corruption, that kind of abuse, and we've reached the furthest point. We're already coming back, and we're going to have the full pendulum swing into the opposite of that, which is full awareness and remembrance of our spiritual sovereignty, unveiling remembrance that we are source God creator and we create our own realities. Nobody else can force us to create these horrible violent systems for them. It's done, okay? We're getting the full pendulum swing back, and that is the new earth. The depths of the darkness and evil that we are currently emerging from the collective unconscious will now be the same magnitude of the heights of light, freedom, peace, joy, sovereign creation that we are experiencing in the new earth. Following that, we have the Fool. All of these are upright, by the way, which is awesome. We have the Fool, okay? The Fool is giving such Neptunian energy. The Fool, it's giving Neptune at the 0 degree of Aries, baby. Like, you cannot make this up. The Fool is all about having the dream and being like, I'm not even aware of what challenges I'm about to face on this journey because I'm starting this journey and I'm so excited about it. Okay, we have to hang on to that energy because we also have the conjunction with Saturn, who is the harsh teacher of astrology. So what this tells me is we have to hold on to this energy as we go about the journey and the transformation and the great reset of humanity that we're all witnessing and co-creating together. We have to hang on to this idealistic, optimistic, Fool Neptunian energy because it will get hard. There will be challenges. Actually, thus far, the cards have not said anything about challenges. But we know Saturn's here. Saturn's always going to throw us a curveball. Saturn is karma. Saturn is the Time Lord. Saturn is limitation. So hang on to and stand in this energy from this 12/12 portal through February 20th next year, when these planets are conjunct at the 0 degree of Aries and beyond. As we continue making the dream real, we have to remember the joy and the freedom of our dream And remember that that joy and freedom will also become real in ways better than we can even imagine or understand. Final card that fell out, we have the Three of Cups. Really beautiful omen. This is all about, look at them, literally cheers. They're saying clink clink. They're saying celebration. They're saying get ready for abundance. They have this beautiful pumpkin. They've got abundant harvest. They're celebrating each other. They're sharing resources together. That's what Three of Cups is all about. So what I'm hearing is celebrate the wins along the way. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate your friends. It's crazy because right before I started this reading, one of my best friends just manifested brand new promotion, getting paid way more. And I had my phone on silent, but I was like, oh, yes, I'm responding because we're celebrating her, right? But do this for yourself also. Surround yourself with people who celebrate your wins. Surround yourself not just with people who celebrate you, but with people who will share their resources with you when you need it. Because, like I said, Saturn's in the mix. There will be curveballs, there will be challenges that we will overcome. And mutual aid is the new Earth. We are not relying on these old thieving systems. You know the ones I'm talking about, who do not represent our best interest, who just want to take from us. They're gone. That means we as community have to come together and support each other. Okay? Tap into mutual aid, tap into supporting your friends and family when you are able. Flip side of that, the balance of that, don't be afraid to do that when you need help. Okay? The help you need and the help you give, equal and opposite. One day you will be asking for help, the next day you will be giving the same magnitude of that help. Now that I have these cards together, I just want to come back to the Page of Wands, and I'm reading this as what we're leaving behind. I'm reading these 4 cards together as what we need to know to get through the journey. Okay, and what came out first? The inspiration. Okay. He's also covered in salamanders eating their own tails, Ouroboros, rebirth. And we have to find what brings us peace, excitement. Okay, that's really what I'm getting from this card, is the excitement. What are you excited to do? What did your soul come here to do and create in the new Earth? It might be something you have not been doing in your daily life thus far because the old systems required you to do something else. But we're witnessing the death and rebirth of our systems, our entire planet of human consciousness. What did your soul come here to do? If you don't know, your inner child is a great teacher in this lifetime. What did your inner child love to do when you were young, before you got bogged down with all the Saturnian work, obligations, etc.? Connect with that part of yourself. What is the creative part of yourself? We've been programmed to be consumers. Okay? Consumerism is about slavery. Okay? That's why there are literal sweatshops with enslaved people. That's why there are literal enslaved children mining the ore to create our electronics, right? But even the consumers of those systems are programmed in disempowered ways. We didn't come here to just consume. That's imbalanced. This is about balance. So we're stepping out of just consumerism and we're stepping into creation. What did you come here to create? Your soul already knows. Give yourself the space and time to connect with that part of yourself and your inner wisdom and knowing. So I just want to ask the cards for a little more clarity. We didn't really get anything about the challenges, okay? I'm asking for our highest good source, our high vibrational angels, our higher selves, what's a challenge we're going to face in this journey? And what is the perfect guidance we need to overcome it? Let's see what the cards have to say. How will these Saturnian themes show up? How do we master our Saturnian energy as we build our dream lives and new earth? Okay, we got some cards that fell out. Let's work with them. Oh my god, I love it. I love it. All upright. So optimistic, so balanced. So we have the High Priestess. This is divine feminine energy. I don't know who needs to hear that, but someone needs to hear that. The divine feminine, this entire past system version of Earth that we're leaving behind that I talked about, can only exist when we suppress the divine feminine. That is one of the key themes of this past several thousand year cycle of human consciousness that we explored. But now it's being made right. She has the moon with her. She has balance. Black and white pillars. She has mastered her yin and yang energy. Hieros, enlightenment. Union of the left and right hemispheres of the brain. And for me, this also really evokes getting guidance from the feminine ancestors in your lineage, feminine spirit guides and angels, your inner divine feminine. When I had my spiritual awakening, it was so overwhelmingly the presence of the divine feminine. How do you connect with that? How do you connect with that in a world that has suppressed that and made it difficult at times for us to even acknowledge the reality of that divine power? So this is also giving for me, I know I was just talking about consumerism and how that's like a shadow expression of feminine energy. What's your enlightened expression of feminine energy? How do you actually rest and relax? What is restful activity that restores you? You need to rest. If doom scrolling on your phone or social media or whatever you do is not actually restoring you, it's depleting your battery, then mama, that's not it. Because we're stepping into this creative energy, that's masculine energy, we have to balance it with divine feminine energy being held by spirit and the earth. Teaching your nervous system, your body, that it is safe to rest, that you don't have to run on a hamster wheel anymore. And her crown chakra is just like so open. Like, allow yourself to receive your intuitive guidance. Allow yourself to receive your intuitive guidance. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. Next up, we have the Knight of Pentacles. This is the first time we've gotten Earth energy in this reading, which feels fitting for Saturn. Okay, we are witnessing the change of all of our systems, how we spend, use, exchange, and get resources. I'm talking money. I'm talking the things we spend our money on. How do we create our goods in a world without slavery? Return to localized economies. Tap into your inspiration. Do you love to knit and sew, but haven't really prioritized that because the systems of the past didn't value that labor? Well, guess what? Your community is going to need you to be making clothes because we're not going to have sweatshops anymore. That's just one example, okay? Like, food. Are you great with plants? Do you have the generational wealth that is the knowledge of agriculture. What can you tangibly bring to your community? What do you have? You're pulling up on this horse to New Earth. What are you bringing to the commune? What are you bringing to the New Earth? What's your commune role? What can you provide? Okay. And also just the way that this is, again, all of these cards are upright. They're all in their exalted, non-shadow expression. So this is telling me like the financial scares that we've been programmed to believe in, like, oh, everything's gonna crash, it's gonna be horrible, you need the system to stay the way it is forever to protect you. No, baby, we're upright, riding our horse, terrain's pretty smooth, we got our big old pentacle, new opportunities coming in fast. Okay, allow yourself to receive new material opportunities fast. And again, everything is balance. Everything is give and share, receive and share. So be ready to receive, but also be figuring out, what did your soul come here to create and physically share with your communities. Last card that came out. Oh my god, the Chariot. Again, like, do you see this? Like, we have on the left, we have black energy, on the right we have white energy. Again, yin and yang. Again, balance. What this is telling me, the Chariot is all about leadership. And again, specifically, the balance of our masculine and feminine brain, the balance of our masculine and feminine energy. How have you been? What's also interesting about this is, there's the little drop of the yin circle inside of yang, there's the little drop of yang inside of yin. So what's interesting is white is associated with masculine energy. This white sphinx has breasts, right? There's a little bit, nothing is 100% yin or yang, all things have both. Where have you suppressed that energy because the old systems took it away from you and taught you to suppress that energy? So if you identify with a gender, connect with how have you been programmed. I'm also hearing journal. She's holding a book. Journal about, write about, let it out through words, or maybe talking to a friend if that's more your speed. What have you suppressed in yourself because of the illusion of gender and the expectations the old system put on you? Release that. What part of your inner child is asking to be seen? Okay? What were you shamed out of? What did you never get to explore that you always wanted to? How do you see imbalance in your own life that you're now ready to return to balance? Also on this, the stars at the top of this canopy, like literally the stars watching over us, giving us this opportunity for rebirth and to make things balanced, to achieve justice. We also have the wings here that represent, Hermes energy, the staff with the snakes and wings, which is really all about Kundalini energy. How do we take that reptile brain energy that lies at the lowest first chakra, the fight or flight center, how do we raise it all the way up and allow that reptile to evolve into a dinosaur, a bird, a dragon, something capable of flight? How do we take our most afraid parts of ourselves and exalt them, reunite them with our higher self that doesn't have to be afraid because we're capable of flight? We are ready to fly. We are ready to be the leaders of the new earth. we had 1, 5, 8 cards come out, literally all upright. And also, we've had we've had 6 major arcana. It sounds like smooth sailing to me. Like, I literally was like, what are the Saturnian challenges we're gonna face? And it's like, oh, love your inner child, connect with your masculine and feminine energy. Like, bet that sounds like my ideal type of day, you know? To close out this reading, I'm gonna turn. Oh, I'm noticing one card somehow ended up flipped in reverse in the middle of the deck, so I will pull out that one, and I'm also gonna look at the bottom of the deck, and let's just see any closing messages for this reading. Thank you, guides. Thank you, source. Thank you, audience, for being here and co-creating New Earth with me. Our first reverse card. This was the one that got flipped in the middle of the deck. It is the 3 of Wands. I'll show you it upright so you can see what's going on. Looking wistful over the horizon in reverse. There's some sort of blockage here. So again, we already got the Page of Wands. What is the lower, earlier version of your inspired energy that you felt like you had to leave behind, that you were sad to leave behind? This is really emphasizing for me, like, when do you feel just like giddy with excitement and inspired? Maybe you haven't felt it in years. Maybe it's really locked away and you really feel like you've left it behind. Notice that, even if it's just a sliver of that feeling, even if it's just a memory of that feeling, connect with it. That's our biggest challenge so far, which is kind of crazy to me. Like, I really thought it would be like having more like physical world resource-based concerns, but no, she's saying it's about your inner child, your inspiration, finding that magic of being alive, because that's what it's all about, staying in the magic. What magic did you leave behind in your past? Recover it. Give it a big ol' hug. Welcome it back. Thank it, okay? And then bottom of the deck, what do we have? Page of Swords. So what this is telling me is, especially after what we were just talking about with fire, inspiration, energy, is how do we take our inspiration and wield the tools of the mind to make it real? This is, again, a brand new start. I'm seeing this kind of like, even though they're both masculine energy, I'm seeing this kind of like Neptune, brand new beginning, and I'm seeing this as Saturn, brand new beginning. How do we use our systems brain? Because that's why sword is air, the mind, okay? Analysis literally means to cut up, to dissect. The mind dissects things. It creates boundaries of self and other. Of course, that's an illusion because we're all one, we're all God, we're all source, but we chose to experience the mind. We chose to experience that duality, and it gave us the tool of this mind that is discerning, that can analyze things. So how do we begin to systematize the dream? Take the dream, okay? Channel your guidance. Work backwards from victory is what I'm hearing. Work from victory. Put your dream, your goal, what you're bringing to the new earth and your community, what your soul came here to do. Step back from that. Okay, let's say you really are into healing or making clothes, right? Making textiles, like I shared earlier. How do you start working backwards from that? How do you start to implement that in your life? How do you troubleshoot? How do you solve any roadblocks to making that a regular part of your life? And how do you start sharing that with the world? Page of Swords. I'm also seeing like this halo of birds above the head. Like, remember, you are so abundantly guided and protected on this journey. This has been a way more like optimistic reading than I anticipated. Honestly, I thought we'd be facing more challenges. Um, we're guided and protected. I'm also, right before I started recording this, I was just like admiring how beautiful the clouds were outside. So I'm hearing that as well. Just like really connect with nature. Is nature regularly incorporated into your life in some way? If not, baby girl, let's get on it. Let's get on it. Okay? That's how we ground ourselves. One of these feet is coming off the ground. Let's plant it. Let's discharge that electrical energy that does not serve us and receive those energy upgrades, which, by the way, is what solar flares like the northern lights are. Those are energy upgrades from the consciousness of the sun. I'm just going to show this because it was the second card on the bottom of the deck and it feels really loud to me as it's sitting there staring at me. The Devil in reverse. So the Devil, if you look, again, about masculine and feminine energy, both hemispheres of the brain in balance. They have these chains around their neck, but the chains are so loose they can take them off. They can just slip them over the head. What this is telling me is we were never trapped in these systems. We were never really, like, we didn't have to be enslaved to the devil. We always have the power to remove those chains, to create something new, to be sovereign in our own reality. And that's what the devil teaches us. Okay? This is a moment where in Buddhism, instead of the devil, we have Mara, the demon king of self-doubt and delusion. How have your delusions and self-doubt that you've been entertaining kept you chained? Reverse that. What is your life like when you free yourself from those chains? What did you come here to do? How good can it get? How good can it get? There's that verse from the Bible that's like, cast out fear and let God show you how good it can get. That's what I'm hearing. So, wow. Really awesome reading. Thank you, cards. Thank you, source. Thank you, high vibrational guides and angels. Thank you for being with me. I'm so excited to create New Earth with you. If you want any help balancing the hemispheres of your brain, your masculine and feminine energy, as you acclimate to the new Earth and find your soul's purpose in it, I have in the description or my bio, depending on the platform, links to my website. I offer quantum coaching, quantum hypnosis sessions. I just launched an 8-week program for quantum transformational hypnotherapy. When you are in the hypnotic state, your brain's hemispheres are literally at the theta wave state in sync. Normally, in waking consciousness, the two hemispheres of the brain are at different frequencies. They're fighting against each other. All of this masculine and feminine energy that came up, that's all talking about balance, that's the work. That's what we came here to do, is to create harmony, if you want to think about it on a biological level, between the two hemispheres of the brain so that you can unlock the full 100% power of the brain. I'd be honored to do that work with you. It's my favorite thing in the world. Thanks so much for being here. Drop a comment on how this resonates with you, what you're bringing to the new Earth, what you're bringing to the commune, what your inner child came here to do. And I'll see you next time.